everybody, and welcome to another episode of the We're So Young podcast. This episode is actually pretty exciting because we are live streaming it, and we are live streaming it via social media on my social media, which is the We're So Young podcast on Instagram, and at Albania Sofia, which is our guest. Today we have Albania Sofia, who is an actor. She is one of my closest friends from like my entire life, and she just recently started this new venture of starting a jewelry line. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Albania.
Okay, so my name is Albania. You already know that. I was born in Spain. I moved to Miami when I was 7 years old. I did like musical theater and theater my whole life. When I moved here, you were one of the first people I met in Actors Workshop with Hector Zabaleta, que en paz descanse. He was our best teacher ever. I remember him very fondly. And ever since then, like I grew up in Miami. I went to Catholic high school probably like my whole life. I've had a passion for acting, dancing, singing, everything. But at the same time, I've always loved fashion, which is why me, my sister, and my mom started this jewelry line.
Oh, I didn't know it was all three of you guys.
Yeah, we also designed and made these.
Shut up. Those are yours?
Yeah.
Ah, they're so pretty.
Yeah. And the brand is called Ania. Everyone's like, why that name? But it's actually like Anya. So it's Albania, Nelly, y Albania.
Oh, look at that. Can you say the full name of the
Ania Tribus. So Tribus means three in Latin. So it's three of us, Albania, Nelly, y Albania.
Oh, cool. So I didn't actually know that it was all three of you doing that.
Yeah.
That's super
My
exciting.
sister's like, the techie one that does like the 3D design. She did our logo. So we all have like kind of different responsibilities, which is really cool because we don't get in the way of each other.
No, that's super nice. I think that's something that I've always admired in your like with your family, like you and your mom and your sister. First of all, you guys are identical. You guys all look exactly the same. Like your mom.
It's getting really annoying because I love it for my mom, but every time I swear to God, every single time it's like, is that your sister? And I'm like, no, it's my mom. And they're like, no, wait, like, no. And then I'm like, do I look like her age or does she look like I don't get it. They're like, you guys look like twins. Like, you look like friends. I'm like,
I know, you guys just went to like Turkey, and it was just like looking at all these pictures. First of all, your mom is like super hot. So she always like dresses like super nice or whatever. And like, yeah.
She's
and yeah, no. And then your sister as well. Like you guys all like look so, you guys could be like sisters from like, your mom looks like 3 years older than you, if anything, So I think, and you guys have always been really close. So I think it's super cool that you guys are doing this together.
Yeah, it's definitely something. And my family is the most important thing to me, and just being able to jump in and have this little like baby, because it is like a baby. When you start your own business, you start it from scratch, and it's really exciting that I can do this with my mom and sister. The way it started, it was really exciting, and every single piece that we have, it's made in Turkey. A lot of it, almost half of it is handmade. And then the other, we have like three different vendors actually, because the one that does the leather is someone completely different. But we spend like days just like going around and seeing so much jewelry, and it was so fun. And I really discovered while I was in Istanbul like a new passion. I was like, wow, I really like looking at all these pieces and kind of being like the buyer for the brand. So that's something that is really, really fun and I'm very passionate about.
So you recently just went to Turkey, but did you have this? Did you go to Turkey to buy this jewelry, like already knowing you wanted to do the company?
So my mom and my sister had been talking about starting this company for so long, and we would talk about it, and it was never really executed, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. And then my mom, had this amazing idea, and I was like, hell yeah, because I'm like that. Like, I'm very spontaneous, and I jump into things. And she was like, you know what? Like, let's just book this trip. Let's go. And, like, if we don't go, we're never going to do it. Right. We can plan and say, but if you don't jump, and, like, say, okay, let's do it, it's not going to happen. So it happened like that. Like, I think it was, like, 2 days before my sister's birthday, like, December 8th. My mom's like, let's go to Turkey. Like, let's just do it. And I'm like, yes. Yes, queen.
Why did you decide Turkey?
I had a contact there for a lady that basically introduced us to all these people. I got that contact through my best friend. And I know that he had been recently, and he told me that they have amazing, like, fine pieces of everything. I mean, they manufacture everything. So it's a country that's, like, very rich in, jewelry, even like if you want to get into like kitchen, they have like a bunch of like little
I mean, Turkey's
like rugs, anything that you can think of. Like they make a lot of shoes there too. Bathing suit, we have like bathing suits also.
Okay, so wait, break down exactly what it is that you sell.
So it's a little bit of everything. I would say it's kind of like an online boutique, and I sell anything that I would wear. Like that's my base on like when I go and buy and pick things. The whole thing in my head is, would I wear that? So I wouldn't buy it and I wouldn't sell it unless I wear it. So everything I'm wearing right now is
super cute
from my line of jewelry. Yeah. So it's a little bit of everything. It's things that I love. Bathing suits, like, you know, we grew up in Miami, and I think I've worn, like, while I've lived in Miami, more bathing suits than regular clothes.
Right.
So
bathing suits, jewelry,
bags, jewelry.
Yeah. The essentials, essentially.
Yeah, the essentials of being a girl.
Yeah. That's super cool. That's super, super cool. And, okay, so you go to Turkey. You buy these tickets. You're like, I'm going to go to Turkey. You go to Turkey. Now what? Like, it's real. It's like an actual thing.
Yeah.
So what was the next step when you got there?
We're still in the beginning phase of this company, so it's kind of figuring out. I think it's really important, like the first few months when you're introducing your brand, you pick up on what people like and what people are leaning towards.
Okay.
So it's kind of like researching your market. So that's what we're doing right now. But I already had a feel of what people would buy, because I sat there and I'm like, what would my friends like? Would my friends wear this? Yes. Would I wear this? Yes. So I kind of just got everything that was built up for like an audience that I think would sell well with.
Okay, cool. And then when it came to designing the purses, like, do they ship it from Turkey? Like, what? How does that work?
So
I'm like, so I'm
yeah,
so
yeah.
I
So
don't
we
even
got
know.
so we got limited pieces. We don't have like 300 pieces right now. So we brought everything that we have. We brought it in we bought suitcases, and we're like, let's do this.
Okay.
Like we just went through the airport with it. Now, according to like when I see what's selling more, for example, like a lot of the star jewelry, the star necklaces, the star earrings, everything is, it's like a lot of people are liking that. So now I can put in an order of 150.
Right.
With the contact that I have, and then they can ship it to me.
And so do you shop for these, or you design them?
At first, we're shopping. For example, the bag we designed, he had kind of like something similar, and then I tweaked it. Like he had like a kind of like a little pendant here, and I didn't like it. I just thought it was like, I told him like, can you make a magnet and just like make it close?
Right.
So it's just
that's
like
nice.
more simple. Like,
I really like that bag.
Thank
actually.
you. And we carry it in 3 colors. This one, there's like a burgundy one and a blue.
Yeah.
So the bags we did design, and then the jewelry, it's just, they told us anything that you want, like we can make it, one of the guys, and that's what we're doing.
That's
so
awesome.
Now I'm like getting into, I don't draw, but if I have an idea, my sister draws, so like we all contribute a little bit.
Is that what how the stars came about?
They carried the stars.
They carried the stars.
But I fell in love with the stars.
Can you, I like the way you brand them and you name them. Can you talk a little bit about that, about naming the jewelry?
That has to be one of the funnest things, I think, of this entire journey. I don't know why, but for me, I've always been very creative, like, since we were really young, like I've always been like I love to write.
Yeah.
And I think that just like naming each piece gives it a little bit of meaning.
Definitely.
And I'm crazy. Like I just, I'm like, okay, what does this remind me of? And like, what does this represent for me? So there's a little bit of everything. There's a lot of Greek. There's a lot of mythology. We have a lot of El Mal de Ojo. It's very popular here, like what's it called? The evil eye.
Evil eye, yeah.
It's very popular here in Miami, especially with like the Cuban culture.
Yeah,
they really believe in that. So I had a lot of fun with that, and a lot of those pieces are like, they're named after kind of like, I don't want to say witchcraft because it's not witchcraft, but like it's called like one of them is saged away. So a little bit of everything. It's like infused with different cultures.
Yeah, that sounds like so much fun. It's
Yeah.
so you, actually. Like, I was going through the different names and I was like, that's so fun. Yeah.
I literally went on, oh my god, this is gonna sound so weird, but I was like, what if like we make this kind of like witchy, like some of the stars, and I found the website that's like Wikipedia. And I just went through like 7 pages of like weird names, and I picked some of them. So there's a little bit of everything.
That's awesome. And also, like, the fact that you're doing it with your sister and your mom, which are like the people that are like closest to you,
Yeah.
I feel, and like you guys are very similar and very different at the same time. So I think that that comes across in a really like seamless way
Yeah.
in the company. So I think that that's going to be really, really cool when people just start to like, you know, see the different, you know, the differences.
Yeah, it's a different dynamic from like the 3 point of view. I mean, it's, you know, my sister's completely different from me, and that's always good because it contributes to something different, and there's like always new ideas.
So you're the shopper, right?
Yeah, the buyer.
You're the
buyer, and I also I'm having a lot of fun doing the social media for it too.
Yeah. So you're huge on social media. You're like a low key influencer.
No.
You know? Yeah. No, definitely you are. So what your sister's the like designer essentially.
My sister's doing like the 3D and graphic design, and she did the logo. So anything like, let's say I have an idea, and obviously if I draw something, like it's gonna look horrible, but I can kind of like pretend I'm doing something and tell Nelly like, hey Nelly, like can you draw it this way and that way? And she's very good drawing, like she's, you know, a painter too, so that really helps. And she could also do it in 3D on the computer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so
man, some people have some real skills.
Yeah, that my sister, I don't even know, but that facilitates like the way, you know, if we want to send it to Istanbul and say like, hey, can you make this? They know exactly what to make because it's a 3D design on the computer.
Right.
So that, and like my mom just being like, my mom's always been like very managerial and very, you know, marketing savvy. You know, my mom's the director for A&E for Latin America marketing. So I think she brings in a lot of experience.
Yeah.
That otherwise, like I wouldn't know what to do.
And I'm sure she's so stoked doing this with both of you guys. Like it's so fun.
Yeah.
How is that gonna work with you? Because you're based in LA.
Yeah.
And your sister's based in LA, but your mom is.
My sister's actually, she just graduated school in LA, so now she's back here.
Oh, okay.
But,
are you going back by yourself?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, I was by myself in New York, and I was by myself in LA at first, but it's definitely gonna be different because I'm used to like living with my sister these past 2 years. So it's definitely a change, but it'll be good.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not worried because now that we live in like this, like you said, like this social media world, you know, the goal is to do e-commerce. So it doesn't matter if I'm in LA or if I'm even like in New York, wherever it is. I think the more the better, you know, the more places you are, the better, because you can grow as a brand.
That's right. That's right. So you said you lived in New York. You said you live in LA. What brought you? Let's just take you back to just like you as a person. Like what took you over there? You've also like you're a big traveler as well. You've always been a traveler. You were born in Spain. You came to Miami. I know that you like went to Bali or something. Like
I did. I taught English in Bali. I volunteered. I want to say it was no. I don't know. No, it was not 2014. It was like 26. I had just graduated college. And I was working for an Italian shoe brand called Acquazzura, and there was a period that they were going to transfer me from Miami to New York, but the New York store, which was going to be the flagship store, wasn't ready. So we had like 2 months of doing nothing, and I'm like, you know how I am, like I can't stay still, and I'm like, I'm not going to be in Miami like doing nothing when I know I had a job waiting for me in New York, and I had saved up all this money from working in Miami. And I said, you know what, like I've always wanted to do a trip on my own, and I'd be lying if I say like, oh, it was so much fun, like everything was like super chill, and it was like, you know, time of my life. Like it was, but at the same time it was so frightening because I had never felt more vulnerable than when I went to Bali, and I was across the globe by myself without, I think that was the first time I was like completely alone.
Yeah.
So far away from my parents, because you know, if I'm in Spain, I'm like, I feel comforted, like I'm with my family in Spain. If I'm even in the Dominican Republic, I have family there. In New York, it's 2-hour flight, 2 hour and a half.
Yeah, and it's also, there's something just very comforting about being in the country. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like
just being in America, like I'm like, okay, I'm fine. But I was, you know, in Southeast Asia. It was an amazing experience, and it was definitely something that stayed with me forever, because you don't appreciate like what we have here in the States, or I mean in general, until you go to these countries. And I remember my mom had given me a bunch of gifts. Like we went, my mom has a lot of like, she got like little kids from A&E, and we went shopping like before going, and like we packed everything, and I gave the kids, I swear I'm not even kidding, stickers, and little like inflatable like como balls to just like play soccer with. And they were freaking, like they were acting like if we had given them like an iPhone. Oh my god. So it just goes to show like no, I don't want to say that we're ungrateful, but
yeah, how much we have in comparison.
Yeah, I don't think, at least I didn't until I had to experience it
firsthand.
Yeah, firsthand.
So you were there for the full 2 months.
Yeah.
And where did you stay? Like,
How
did that work?
It was the scariest experience because I landed in Bali, and the program that I did it with, IVHQ is what it's called. They set up a driver, and like I landed in Bali, and you know, like a guy had like my name, and I'm like, oh my god, this is my driver, which by the way ended up being like my Bali father. Like I took that guy's number, and I'm like, you are taking care, like I don't care what happens, like I need somebody that I can resort to, like I need comfort. You know, I'm like very, I don't like, I've always been like, I love people, and I like to have like a little, like even like if it's like going to the same supermarket every day, when I did that when I moved to LA, like I would go to the same place every day just because I was like, okay, I don't know anybody here, I'm gonna develop like familiar faces.
Right.
So I
mean,
you know,
that's
he was
so
amazing.
important.
Yeah, he was amazing, but he like picked me up, and before, like he was kind of like the driver for the program, and he put my bag in like the van, and he like midway to the house, like I didn't even know what was going on, midway to the house, like he's like, okay, get down, and like he's like, get in the motorcycle. I'm like, a motorcycle? There was like a guy in the middle of the street. I hopped from the van into the motorcycle.
What about your stuff?
He kept it. He like was doing trips back and forth. He's like, I'm gonna bring it back. So he turned around, I got in the motorcycle, and then the guy in the motorcycle like dropped me off in like a house. And the Balinese homes, like they're not like it's not a regular American house, or like like it's not a house that you would think. They go by like group ages. So the house is like long, and then in the front of the house it's like the older people that live there. And then it goes by ages, and at the back it's like the young teenagers, and that's where you live. And I had no idea. I just like came into this huge house that's like super long, and I'm like, what am I doing? So I walked all the way back, and then I saw like a little volunteer room, but it really was nothing like I expected. Like it was the unexpected.
Such a culture shock.
Yeah. And then I shared a room with like 6 people, so it was bunk beds, and I shared a room with like 5 other girls.
Oh my god, I can't imagine you doing that. That's so funny.
I had fun. I met really nice Canadians that I keep in touch with and on Instagram. They got me.
Man, it's so funny.
Yeah, no, it was scary.
So a little background on Albania and I. Albania and I have known each other since we were like
14.
No, before then. Girl, we met when we were like 10.
Oh my god, yeah. I just remembered that. Definitely before that.
Yeah. We were like 10.
I wasn't even in high school.
Yeah, me neither. Oh my god. This is like
I was
the
in
most
St. Agatha.
such awkward years of our lives.
I think
Jesus.
I still had braces.
Yeah, you had braces. I had, oh god. Oh my god, that was so bad. So yeah, so we've known each other for basically our entire lives. And then like we both kind of started doing our own things. I think it was just different. Like we just kind of, not necessarily, I don't think we've ever grown apart, but we just like, you moved away, I was over here, you know, we like kind of spread out. So we haven't actually been in the same room for.
But the good thing is I saw you and I was like, that's my girl.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Like nothing's weird, you know, like I love friends like that you don't see them for 10 years and it's like, I gave you a huge hug the minute I saw you, and it was not like, it's not awkward.
Yeah, I like said hi to your dog, like if it's my dog.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, I know all about you.
I know, I have to stop. My grandma's like you're overdoing it. She's like, demasiado perro en tu Instagram. And I'm like, but I love them. I'm obsessed with them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm upset. My dog has his own Instagram, so I get you.
My grandma's like, lo poco gusta y lo mucho aburre. I'm like, okay, duly noted.
Yeah, can you translate that for everybody?
I don't even know. You can't translate it into like it doesn't sound fluent. Well, like a little bit of something is interesting and a lot of it is boring.
Overwhelming, and boring, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. So you both are, Sugar and Pablo, both of them are yours?
Yeah. Mine and now that my sister's staying here, she's gonna stay with Sugar, and I'm gonna stay with Pablo.
Okay.
But they were both rescue dogs. I rescued them in LA, and that's something that I really admire LA, because here in Miami, like, you can buy dogs anywhere. And I don't know if they still do, but they used to euthanize. I don't know if they still do it.
I think they do.
Yeah, I think they still do. And in college, I did a project on that, on like try to adopt, not buy. And I visited Urgent Dogs of Miami, and there's so many dogs that are on the verge of like either being euthanized or just dying. So many dogs, and they're not getting adopted. And in LA, that's illegal. Like, you can't go, there's no stores where you can just be like, oh, like, I want like a pure breed, like golden retriever. Like, you can't do that in LA. So the adopting community is really big there, and I really, really admire and stand up for that, because I'm an animal lover. And Pablo honestly was like, I was like a foster failure, because I already had one dog, and I'm like, okay, I shouldn't be getting another one. But I was passing by and I saw him. It was the cutest thing. There was like 5 dogs, and they were all in cages, and like Pablo was there, and every dog was barking, and Pablo was just like staring at me with like this face, like it was like, take me. And I'm like, okay, like, I'll foster him for a little bit while he finds a home. By the end of that day, I swear to God, I was like, I'm not fostering this dog, I'm adopting it. Like, let's be real.
Yeah. I just looked at you like you were crazy.
Yeah,
I was like, I know you're...
Yeah. And I have like, you know, like, I get so attached.
Yeah. That's funny. So how's it been living literally in the 3 furthest places? You went from Miami to New York to California. So like, what's been your favorite place about your favorite thing about moving to those places? And like,
I think it's a little bit of everything, just being able to experience like the authenticity of each city. I mean, Miami, it's my hometown, and I really wanted to just leave and experience living alone. When I was in New York, I worked a lot. I also studied at Stella Adler, so that was an amazing experience. And just like getting to know the city for itself, and every city I think has like an attitude itself, like the city itself. And I think adopting a little bit of everything is what at the end of the day makes you.
Yeah.
You know, like New York was definitely very fast paced, and I learned a lot of work ethic there. I think New York is a city where like you have to work, and LA is definitely more laid back. At least somewhere, it's a place where I feel very connected to people, because everyone's in the creative industry. And you just feel like you're surrounded by people that get it, you know, like it's like everyone's doing like the same thing, and everyone's very supportive of each other. So at the end of the day, it's like always so nice to just be able to also come back to Miami and call this place home.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so big also, I feel like, especially this day and age, like for people to like get out of their homes, you know?
Yeah,
like,
I think it's so important.
Whether it's just traveling, or whether it's just like moving into your own apartment, or moving to another city, or moving to another state, or moving to another country, like, man, you just learn so much about yourself and like your survival
and how to survive
skills.
in life.
Yeah,
I really realized that I knew nothing at all when I moved to New York. I was like, oh my God, I don't even know how to, like, YouTube was my best friend. Like,
YouTube
I would
is
how to cook, YouTube, how to wash my clothes, YouTube. Like, my mom tried to teach me at home, but like when you're home, you're like, oh no,
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, like my mom's got, like, I don't know, like, you know, necessity.
Yeah,
that's your best friend.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, like the moment that you have to, yeah, but it's just so much like more satisfying. I mean, I still can't cook. I mean, I can, but I hate to cook.
I actually like ended up loving cooking, and
really?
I was a disaster in the kitchen. Like, I trial and error, I've burned many things, but you know, I'm getting a lot better, and the things that I do make, I make them good.
Yeah, like I can make like 3 dishes, and I'm like, okay, this is okay, but then I just don't like to cook. Like, I'm just really lucky the guy I'm seeing likes to cook, because Jesus, I hate it. Like,
my sister's actually like a chef.
Yeah.
And then I got lazy. Like, in
Man,
New York,
your sister should be on the podcast. What are you doing here?
Girl, get out. No, in New York, I was cooking a lot. Like, I lived with my best friend, Bachi, and we would have, like, cook-offs. It was so much fun. We'd be like, okay, like, let's go to the supermarket. Let's buy all this stuff, and then, like, let's both cook. Like, you do this dish, and I'll do this one. And he taught me things, like I taught him things, and we learned a lot in New York. But then like when I moved to LA and then my sister moved, I was like, oh, like Chef Nels is here, like why am I gonna cook? Like we got the chef in the house, you know? So then I got lazy, but I'm gonna get back to that.
Yeah, I mean, so are you nervous to like kind of go back to LA and just kind of?
I wouldn't say nervous. I'm excited. I'm not nervous because it's not the unknown anymore. Like the first time I moved to LA, I was like, oh my God, like nobody I know lives here. Like now I have so many friends that live there. But when I first moved, like I didn't know anybody who lived there. I just like, I winged it. Like I wing everything. Like I'm kind of like very crazy and spontaneous. But this time around, like I figured out LA a little better, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not that big unknown.
Yeah.
I mean, before I was like Googling like things you should know before moving to Los Angeles.
No, but that's great. I mean, that's what I like love about you, and I think that's why you're so great on this podcast. You know what I mean? Because it's all about that. It's just like taking a leap of faith and being like, I'm gonna do this, you know, and like it might be great, it might not, but like I'm gonna do it. Yeah. And you've always been like that since we were little. So like I love
what's
that
the worst
about
that could happen? Like you fall on your face, but you get right back up. You know?
Right.
And I think that I wouldn't take back anything. I would never trade my experiences for anything else because I think that everything that I did, the way I did it, is what led me to be who I am today.
Yeah.
You know, as cliche as that sounds, like it is what it is.
Yeah. Are you writing?
I'm not writing right now, but I have like, it's such a horrible thing to say because I've just been like procrastinating so much, and so many people are like, when are you gonna write? Like I've had an idea for such a long time, like over a year, and I don't know.
For what?
To write. Did you say writing?
Yeah, writing, but writing like what?
A script.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like we wrote Raíces de Locura when we were 14.
Yeah,
that was
you
so
just
much...
said it out loud.
Yeah.
I like hope that no one ever
Oh
finds
God,
it, and then I realize that I just like say it. It's on live. People heard.
No, like bleep it on the podcast. I think I said it too fast, and they're not gonna read it.
No, it's too late. I actually have a bonus episode coming
out,
and I talk about it.
Like,
but
one of my friends like got one of those scenes and put it on like she went to Gulliver and she put it on the TV of the whole classroom, and I'm still traumatized by that.
No, me too. That happened to me in my high school. Like people were like, "We found you," and I was like,
That's
"Oh."
so embarrassing.
But now we both technically go by like stage names, so nobody can actually have like, unless you really know what our like actual last names are, you wouldn't know.
But no, I'm doing something like that. Like well, I have an idea, and I think like this year it's one of my goals to execute that idea. Nice. I think in life, like I get very caught up and I do a lot of things, and like, you know, to write, you really need time to just sit down and be with yourself, with your thoughts, and like let your creativity just like take over. Mm-hmm. And that definitely takes like some time to just be like zen and say, I'm gonna do it. Right.
Would you tell your like, what would you tell 15-year-old Albania? 15-year-old Albania and Diana is a terrifying thought.
Oh my God. And nothing that
We're gonna have some serious karma.
Nothing that I would say, I would listen, because when I was 15, I didn't listen to anyone.
I know. I swear, I think about this all the time. I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna have serious karma when we're parents. Kids. Jesus, I'm like, I'm not gonna have them.
I'm petrified. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna need my husband to like have to be very strict, because obviously I've had dogs and I'm like, I'm not, like, I scream at them, and then 5 seconds later I'm like, it's okay, come back in bed.
Yeah, no. Poor mothers.
I would tell myself to just be patient and not want to grow up so fast. I feel like when I was 15, I wanted to be so old so fast. And you know, and now that I think about it, I'm like, why? Why did I want to grow up so fast? Yeah. Like, enjoy the time of being 15, of being a teenager, of being able to like be a sponge and absorb everything, and you know. And
do you even imagine, like, we grew up in the start of social media, you know, we grew up with like MySpace or whatever, you know what I mean?
Like, you're not I'm not on your top 8.
Oh my, that was a thing.
Yeah.
Kids don't even know what that means.
I'm mad at you. I wasn't on your top 8. Was it top 8?
No,
I
think you were on my top 8.
No. It was like top 8, and then you could make it like top 4.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I need to revisit MySpace just to see what it looks like.
Does MySpace still even live? I don't even know.
I know
Justin Timberlake bought it.
I know that I got in a lot of trouble. I'll never forget. I was on the way to acting class, and I think I was with you. Do you not remember that I had like oh my god, I got grounded for posting pictures on MySpace that my mom caught, and I'll never forget. I posted a quote that said, well, oh my god, I can't even believe what I would post.
I mean, but it was just, that's what MySpace was for. Like, it was just like, we were being like all like little, we're so cool, but like so emo at the same time, and posting like all these crazy things. Yeah, but like, think about it. Think about how we were then, and like, oh god, sometimes I don't want to think about how we were then. But also, like, think about like growing up now with social media. Like, look, we're live streaming this, you know, like how, whoa, you know, that's crazy. Like, I can't even imagine. And like, kids now, if we wanted to grow up, like, kids now have it, like, they're just like always trying to be 25.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's terrifying to me. That's because being 25 does not mean we're adults.
Yeah.
You know,
no,
like,
know.
that's.
But I think it's like not even generations. I think it's a thing of just being that age. That when you're that age, you just want to grow up. I don't know what it is, but I wish that I would have known.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, every stage is beautiful. When you're a child, when you're a teenager, when you're like a young adult.
Yeah. It's such a fun time, you know. But I think that because we can say that now, I think that that's what makes like our 20s so rich, you know, like, because we're like, yeah, man, we were trying to grow up so fast, but now it's like, slow down, let me live in the moment.
But you're
know?
right in the sense that social media being so prominent now, it is, I think, because even to me, I think it does take a toll on like your mental health. Like, I overanalyze, and this is just me being really honest, like, I overanalyze everything so much, like, before I even post it. Like, my mom tells me, like, why aren't you just more like loose in yourself, and like, why are you always so scared of like looking like stupid or looking ugly, or like, you know what I mean? And I think now the society is just like, there's so much pressure to be perfect, and I think like it's been proven it's just not healthy.
Yeah, which you know, I'm glad you said that, because I actually don't get that from you on social media. Like, I feel like you're very open and very like transparent.
I try to be as authentic.
Yeah, I think you're very transparent, and I think that shows, and I think that's why you have a pretty big following, and you have, you know, because you're like this gorgeous girl who's like not afraid to be, you know, silly in front of people, and like post yourself like yelling at your dog and then being like, I love you so much, you know?
I think in stories I'm like a little bit more myself, so if you watch my stories, but then when I look at like pictures of my Instagram, I'm like, oh my god, like, I don't smile, and I barely smile. I'm like very serious on like every post, and it's like, if you know, the people that know me know I'm like such a clown, and I'm always like joking, and I'm always pranking people, and like that's my personality. Right. But you know, it's hard to tell from just like social media.
But I think also, you know, putting it into perspective, it's also like our job, you know, like, as opposed to other people or people that aren't in the art industry, you know, in any kind of art industry. Like, it's our job to post things, and it's like our job to like look a certain way and kind of, unfortunately, like brand ourselves, you know. Which is, God, so ugly to say, right?
But we've learned that since we were 12. Like, I'll never forget Hector telling us like tú eres un producto.
Yeah, you're a product. Yeah.
And that is
instilled in me. We were 12.
We were 12 me when I was 11 or 12.
I know, and we were, you know, and like, he would like, we love him, like, you know, but he was very much like, you're this kind of character. Yeah. You're this kind of character. You can do this kind of work. You can do this kind of work, which is, it's funny because I feel like both of us have grown out of that a little bit, which is so nice. But yeah, like, I mean, we were 12 and we were being told all of these things, which I think gave us a really thick skin, but I think also made us grow up really quickly.
Yeah, because also, like, I think from a very young age, even the characters that we were interpreting, even if it was just like for practice, were like always older characters, and like very, like, a lot of times they were like very sexualized, and you know, that's why like at 15 I was like, okay, yeah, like I'm 15 but I feel like I'm 20.
And we were always hanging out with people that were so much older than us.
Not only in acting, I grew up like that. Like, my mom and dad always tell me that I'm the oldest cousin on my dad, like my little cousins on my dad's side from Spain. I'm my sister, you know, my sister's older sister. I've always been like the older one, and I've always hung out with like older people, and then when we entered acting school, it was like us and la
then,
clase de los adultos.
Yeah, exactly. Like everyone was there. Everyone was an adult. And when we hung out with those people, it was just like everyone was adult, you know?
If you think about it, we were hanging out at 15 with people that were probably like 35 or 40.
Yeah. Which is bizarre because I don't want to hang out. I mean, like, I mean, I guess it's also because I teach kids that are like 15, but like, or 12 or whatever. But I don't want to hang out with them like on a regular. But like, our demeanor was just very different. And, you know, we were just like so used to being around people that were so much older than us that like, we had no choice but to be like, okay, this is, you know.
I'm so like, it, you
so
know, we
old.
don't, I've never vocalized that. And now that you're saying it, it's like, wow, makes sense.
Yeah, you know, and I learned so much from those people. But I think that that's what makes like our friendship so special is because we went through that together. Like I was just having this conversation recently with someone. They were like, "What was it growing up acting?" And not only were we acting and we were like child actors, but we were doing it in the Spanish industry, which is I feel like way more cutthroat and way more like envious than like my life now, you know? And I think that that's so interesting because I don't think either one of us are very much like I've always been really excited when you book things, and I know that you've always been really excited when I book things, but that wasn't the case around us, you know? And I think that that's I don't know. I wouldn't trade our childhood at all, but I do think that like I always think like what if we would have not done the Spanish industry? Like how different would our lives have been, you know? Like it's so crazy.
But it's given us that thick skin that, you know, we have now. Because you need it. Like for something like what we're pursuing and what we're doing, having thick skin I think it's a must.
Yeah. I agree. But yeah, oof.
Those were good days.
Those were good days.
I feel like now, like this is gonna sound so counterintuitive, but I feel like I don't want to say more of a child, but like more like I'm more like Peter Pan, like never grew up kind of person. Than like when I was 15, like you know, it would be so weird to hang out with our 15-year-old selves.
Oh my god, no.
I think like, why are you old?
Yeah. You know what's interesting? I feel like because we were so willing to grow up and do crazy things while we were growing up that I feel like in a way we kind of just got over all that craziness so early that like
I think that's really anybody though that lives also in my like growing up in Miami, just because I've met so many other people that just throughout college and in LA and in New York that didn't grow up in Miami, and they didn't have that upbringing of like being 15, 16 and like having access to all these things and like these parties and, you know, this lifestyle that's just like very unrealistic in the real world.
You know though, like I feel like I had access through that via acting and through you, but like my friends in high school definitely didn't have the same access to all the things that I had, or like just the same experiences, I think, which is interesting. That's what, for me, that's why I say I'm like, me growing up as like a child, and I say that in quotation marks, a child actor in the Spanish industry, I think was very different than like my friends growing up, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's so crazy. It's so crazy.
But we turned out okay. Look at us
I think
now.
we turned out okay, you know? Like,
I think I'm a great example.
I mean, I think so.
Because we got it out of the way, so like now we have the time to focus and not be like, you know, derailed by wanting
to experiment things that like like I know what's good for me and I know what's bad for me, and like if I choose to drink a lot, it's like on me. We did have a lot of we didn't drink anything. Normally I have like wine with people here on the podcast. You were like, do you want coffee? I'm like, sure, it's 7:30 at night. I'm gonna have coffee.
The only reason I offered you coffee and not wine, like you should know better, like you know me, it's because I'm on antibiotics and I can't drink. Otherwise we'd be like, you know, where's the tequila bottle? Just
that's kidding. Very responsible of you, actually.
No, I don't. I actually was super irresponsible. I'm like, whatever, like who cares, I'm just gonna drink. And like I had 2 glasses of wine with my dad, but I had, like, my doctor told me like these are the type of antibiotics like you cannot drink on, trust me. And I was like, you know, being like the smart ass that I am, I'm like, whatever, who cares, like I'm just gonna do it. 2 glasses of wine isn't gonna do anything. I swear to God, I had 2 glasses of wine. This was 4 or 5 days ago. I go to bed. I take my antibiotic. I go to bed and I wake up like an hour and a half later thinking I'm going to die. And then like I looked it up and it's the same effect. Like this antibiotic has the same effect as like antabuse, which is like those pills that people that are trying to stop drinking take. So it makes you like violently ill. And I was like throwing up with the worst headache and like dizzy. No. I'm like, should I wake up my dad? Like I think I'm gonna die. Like I felt really sick, so I'm pretty traumatized. Otherwise we'd be like, you know, having a Chardonnay.
I know, I was really surprised. I was like, okay, I guess I'll take coffee. I'll take coffee and water. That's very substitute. It's very PC of us.
Coffee, water, and kombucha.
That's literally what I live off of, and tequila. But
yes, my drink of choice.
Mine too.
Yes, girl.
Man.
But if we do another podcast, we'll incorporate the wine.
Yeah. We'll possibly do it on an earlier time too.
Yeah.
It's kind of late. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have, and whatever coffee you gave me, it's super strong because I'm like, I'm like buzzed.
I have a high tolerance for coffee, but.
Well, I don't know if I haven't seen you in I don't know how many years, but like.
I don't even think we drank coffee the last time we hung out. We were too young to drink coffee.
I like how we were too young to drink coffee.
But not
alcohol. Well, yeah, no. I mean, there's no way that I haven't seen you since.
No, I think we saw each other when we were like 17.
No, stop it. We've seen each other in our 20s. We must have.
I don't know, 21?
Yeah, maybe 21. No, you know what? I was working. It's the only other place that I've ever worked that's not acting. I was working at a boutique at the Design District. And you came and saw me once.
Oh, I
so
remember.
That was.
And then we had lunch, like.
Right. So, and
did we have sushi for? I don't even.
Yes, I think so. But I was definitely 21. I was definitely 21 at that point. But it's been 4 or 5 years. It's been a long time. Wow.
Where does time go?
Yo, I don't even know. And like, I think that's a big thing for me in the podcast and like why we're doing this, it's the idea that like, first of all, now this is like time capsuled, which is kind of cool and kind of like a reason why I wanted to do it, but also like to remind myself to like take it easy, like and enjoy and be present.
Yeah.
And I think that that's so important. So important. And like, something as simple as like our friendship, like our friendship goes for years, and it's simple, and it doesn't matter if we don't see each other for 4, 5, 6 years. Yeah. Like we're still there, and that's so cool. That's so interesting.
It's so nice to have those people that you could always like come back to.
And like the same, it's like one of those things that it's family, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I know that I can see your mom and be like, Alvania, how are you? Yeah. You know what I mean? And like the same with I told my mom, I was like, Mom, you won't know who, like you can't guess who I'm gonna go see today. And she's like, who? And I was like, Albania. And she's like, oh my God, tell her I say hi. Yeah, like, it's so nice. It's so nice to have like friends like that, yeah. Oh man. I wish we should have a reunion with like all of our people. See how much we've changed over the years.
Yeah.
No. It's very different.
I think like oh no, has it been 10 years? I think I missed like my middle school reunion, but I would have loved to go to that. I was in LA.
Your middle school has a reunion?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's intense.
I missed it.
You want to go?
It was like a year and a half ago.
So do you want to go to your high school reunion? Yeah, I don't know if I want to go to my high school reunion.
The thing is like I wasn't very close, like growing up in high school, my friends were not from my high school. Like I had some friends from my high school, but all my best friends, like my group of best friends, all of them went to different schools. Like we were like a group of like 10 different schools that just like made one group.
Right. Yeah.
So it's so weird. Too. But I do have like a couple of friends in my high school that I would hang out with, but for the most part, like all my best friends were from other schools.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just don't really talk to anybody too much from my high school anymore, which is interesting.
Me neither.
Like I grew up in a school where like we were all in the same class for like from elementary, middle, and high school, like that's crazy.
Wow, that is crazy.
That's crazy. And like you would think that we'd like be best friends forever, but obviously not. Like I have like 2, 3, maybe like a handful of friends that I still talk to, but like close friends from high school, maybe like 3. You know, it's like the same three, you know.
Yeah.
But
I like thinking of my, like,
yeah.
my God, I know their names.
Yeah. So that's it. Yeah, I don't know if I want to go to my high school reunion. Also, just like, what a drag. Like, yeah, like, you know what? Like, if I had to be 15 again, I'd do like all my extracurricular 15 activities again. But definitely, I don't know if I'd go back to high school, you know? Like if I had to, like, if I had like a time machine and I could see myself when I was 15.
I had so much fun in high school.
You did?
Yeah.
I mean, I did too, but I don't know.
Like, my high school was lit.
Mine wasn't. I mean, mine was fine, but like.
I think I appreciate that time in my life because I think it was like the time where I rebelled a little bit and I found
a little bit.
A lot of it.
We were not.
It was a little wild back in the day, but I think you find yourself through, going through those experiences, and you have to, like, fall down and get your, I had, situations that I was like, oh my God, am I, like, why did I do that? Why am I here?
We lived such a, like, Miami version of Gossip Girl growing up, which is like, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's a little bit unreal.
It's a little unreal, yeah. I, like, think back on it and I'm like, whoa, that was my life.
I think, like, sophomore, junior year for me was so much fun.
I had a pretty good sophomore year.
And then college, I stayed here, so I never had, like, that sorority experience, so.
Me neither. I mean, I didn't go to college, but.
But a lot of my friends did, and they go, like, they've been, like, part of fraternities and sororities, and that's something that I can't.
Do you feel like you missed out on that, or you just don't care?
I wasn't really interested in, like, being part of a sorority.
Yeah.
I don't know. I took a different path, but
right.
I could see how it's fun,
Yeah. Okay, so we're approaching the end or close to the end of our podcast episode. What is something new that you've done recently that's not your jewelry line?
Ooh.
Because we already talked about that, so that's cheating.
That's a hard one, because that is what I've been doing that's new.
It could be anything. It could literally be like, I don't know, I tried a new kind of cheese or whatever. It doesn't matter.
Oh my God, I usually always have an answer for this because I'm always doing things that are new.
Yeah.
But I don't know, let me think. I guess, like, something that I've done new is make a routine of watching movies, at least like three new movies every week.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's such
and I've really put it into, like, existence. Like, I was like, this is what I want to do, because like, the more films you watch, the more, like, you watch actors that you admire, like, the better artist you are. So part of it was for my profession, the other part was just because it's so much fun and entertaining, and you learn a lot, and I've been doing that. I've actually been doing that, and I've seen really good movies.
What's been your most recent, like, good movie that you've seen?
I loved Bird Box, but I watched Beautiful Boy with Steve Carell and Tim T. Yeah.
Yes, that's such a good one.
Oh my God. I loved it. It's like an intense movie, but it was so good. The acting's, like, impeccable, and it's very touching. Like, it really puts the movie puts you in the perspective of, like, the parents and, like, the suffering that the parents go through. Yeah, that's been so far my favorite one. I watched Ocean's 8 too with Sandra Bullock, Rihanna.
And what is something new that you want to try?
I want to work out. Like, I do. Like, I want to just, not even, like, to, like, lose weight. Like, I'm not going to say it because of that, but more because I think it's very good for your mental health. Like, when I work out, like, have a routine, because I'll do it for, like, a month. I'll do it, like, 4 times a week and do it for 1 month and then quit for, like, 7-8 months on, like, in a row. So I just want to be more routine oriented. Like, I feel like I'm very sporadic and, like, all over the place, and I just want to have, like, things that I know, at this time, like, 3 or 4 times a week, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And stick to it.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's awesome. So, can you tell our listeners how we can buy some of your jewelry?
For now, you guys can reach out to me on the Instagram, which is Anya Tribus.
Can you spell that out for us?
ANYATRIBUS on Instagram. And we're putting up pictures there of everything that we have. You guys can just like DM me and I'll get back to you within that day. I'm very quick.
I'll put all the information in the description and in the blog of the website, of the We're So Young website, so you can also find it through there. But I wanted to make sure you kind of gave yourself a shout out.
We're working on the website, so as soon as that's up, they'll be able to shop and it'll be like an e-commerce.
Okay, perfect.
So for now, it's like literally this is like the second week that we've been active, I think, or like a week and a half.
I know, it's very new.
Like brand new. You literally caught me like on like fresh stuff.
I did. Yeah. I really wanted to. I was like, she's starting this. It's so great.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for doing this. This is so fun.
My first podcast.
Yay! All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks again for listening to the We're So Young podcast. Like what you've been hearing? Help spread the word. If you haven't already, subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. Rate, review, and tell your friends about We're So Young. And don't forget to follow us on our socials, at We're So Young Podcast on Instagram, at We're So Young Pod on Twitter, and We're So Young Podcast on Facebook. Let's all get inspired to try new things together. That's it for now. Tune in on the 1st and the 15th of each month for new episodes. Until then, step out of your comfort zones and try new things, because we're so young.